Evening, guys. How's everybody doing? More project saws. First project saw I'm going to show, Husqvarna 50, and I've had many questions about the project saws, and the quick answer is there's maybe 100-ish for me to get through, so it's going to take some time, as you can imagine. Even if I manage to fit in 3 or 4 a week, still half a year, isn't it? So I'll be as fast as I can going through them, but I'm sure there's going to be some amazing project saws for some of you guys out there, either ones to finish or just be a great source of spare parts. First one then, Husky 50. So this girl has sat in the workshop for an age, really clean, and I checked my notes for this saw and it was missing handle inserts, which eventually turned up a while back, and I put the inserts in. And what else is she actually missing? She's missing one of the recessed oil filler caps, a chain brake is working, brake handle's broken, the chain tensioner bolt is missing, and other than that, she looks absolutely complete, in really nice condition. Missing the nameplate badge in here, but the serial number badge is in perfect condition. So this is a early 80s saw, and these run a 44mm piston, same as the Rancher 50 then. Yeah, 44mm piston, 32mm stroke. Actually very similar to the Stihl we're going to move on to in a minute. That runs probably a 44mm piston, that might be a 42. They run a 31mm stroke, the 028. This runs a 32mm stroke. So nominal 49cc, and running wise, so really nice cosmetic all around. Great project saw for somebody. Original exhaust, crankcases look lovely. Fins are all complete on the pull start. No damage to the tank. Throttle lock. It's got the correct air filter, correct carburetor. Handle wrap excellent. I think that's a 16-inch bar. Felling spikes present. Okay, so as far as I know, original pop and piston, and obviously the flywheel's not been off it, clutch has not been off it. She just runs, and I'm unsure if the saw oils, because it's always been missing a recessed cap, and it's strange. It's the number of jobs to do on it are only small, but it's just one which just got put to one side, and there you go. So maybe that might be a really nice project saw for somebody to finish. All that weight on these is around 6 kilos, so 13.5 pounds, touch lighter than the 028, and on paper these push, interesting actually, the horsepower figure for the 50, they push, I think, 0.2 of a horsepower more than the original 028, but when I've run them back to back, these models, the 028 performs better. More of a pro saw as well. So okay, that's the Husky 50. Hopefully an amazing project saw for one of you. Okay, so not gone through. Obviously we need completely going through, but the shell, the chassis looks really good. I'm pretty sure these run 325 pitch, pretty sure. Okay, that's the Husky 50. Let's put that girl safe there. Right, this is an interesting saw to show. Some of you are going to recognize this from just from the initial look. feels more substantial as well. So this is one of the original Stihl 028 AVs. This saw started, when did this saw start? This saw started in 76 or 77, the original version. So the original version is slightly different to the later. You'll notice that by the time they've got to the 028 Super in the mid 80s, it's a composite fuel tank, and which is why I think this is a much nicer model personally. So this is the original model. What is the model designation? I think it's still 1118. All mag alloy all the way around, including the fuel tank. Looks a little bit rough with the paint on the surface, again untouched. Has the original top cover. The badge is kind of pitted off, but I think it's the original 028 AV rather than the Wood Boss, but I don't know for sure. Which means she'll either be running, the very first 028s were running a 42mm piston with a 31mm stroke, pushing 2.8 horsepower. Still strangely show running up to between a nominal 20-inch bar, maybe 21, but nominal 20-inch bar, 43 cc's, 2.8 horsepower, and then very quickly they moved to a, same as the Husky 50, a 44mm piston, 31mm stroke, similar power again, circa 3 horsepower. What do we say about this saw then? So, all mag alloy, chain brake is working, untouched. Genuine steel bar, runs 3/8 pro saw in its day. 3/8 1.6mm gauge. This is a 20 or a 21? That's a good question. I think this is it's a minimum 20. I think it's a 21, but we say it's, I'm not sure, it's 20 or 21. Okay, and what is she missing? She's missing a rear air filter cover for the back, which I don't know why I've never got around to doing it. The top AV mount is loose, needs replacing. The other AV mounts feel okay. The oil filler cap needs replacing. The chain the chain is probably scrap. It's one which presumably its previous owner had left this chain buried in one side in the dirt, and so it's got 3 or 4 gnarly teeth, and then the rest of the teeth look pretty good. So, but just assume that the chain is scrap. And what else is there to say about the saw? Let's see how this girl runs. So this girl has never taken a disc. Today is going to be the first day I take a disc with this saw. So the saw runs okay. One other thing I noticed doesn't work on it is the kill switch, and again, it's not worked on, so I presume the kill switch wire is, as some of you will know, these got an isolated tank running from the separate crankcases back to the separated fuel tank, and you don't see this particular problem on the later saws because they have plastic tanks. But anyway, this girl, because she has a metal tank, and then the earthing or the grounding comes back to the tank part of the housing, where you grind them becomes much more critical. And I can already see, in fact, there you go, I haven't taken it off, the grinding wire is being grounded to the front top cover screw. That's completely wrong. Just needs to be, I presume it just needs to be grounded properly. But anyway, how does she run? Well, so we'll stop with the choke. Runs beautifully. Not had the exhaust off, the barrel and piston haven't been off it, haven't had the flywheel cover off it. So exactly as you see her. And what else is prudent to know about these models? So they're slightly unusual on the fueling, the 028, the early Stihls. These run, a lot of you will be familiar with the HS carburetor. Also, you'll be familiar with some of the offshoots between the Walbro WS and the HK carburetor. This is a lesser known model, I think, on this one. I'd have to pull off the air filter, but I think these are HUs. So just bear in mind they're a slightly more unusual carburetor kit. Again, it's not had the carburetor done, so no brakes to the back. So apart from the pitting of the paintwork and missing paint, it's just a beautiful untouched example. And because I spoke to another guy about this saw who was very interested, he said, have I tried cutting it? No, genuinely, this today is the very first day. So I don't know what she's going to be like buried in the wood. I don't know what that chain's going to be like, because like I say, 6 or 7 of the teeth are rusty and bad. The rest look okay. So let's take a few discs. It'll be fun. I haven't cut with a 028 for an age. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. A really willing engine as well. I think they offload 12,500 RPM. Obviously relatively short stroke engine, 31 mil, and they have a strange feel to them. They feel substantial. And going back to the piston size, I'm not sure. It's an interesting question as to how you would tell the difference between the very first ones with the metal tank running the original 42 mil piston, and how you would know if you had one with a 44, other than pulling off the exhaust, which nothing's been taken off it. It'll be apparent whoever buys it. Hopefully it'll find a great home with one of you. Just, it's lovely having untouched saws. But you'll see when you see it, you'll see that the top cover screws are kind of just rusted in place. They haven't been off. This is just how she runs as you see her. And she sat there for so long and I haven't done anything with it, and it's going to be a great project saw for one of you. Right, let's see what this girl cuts like. Very exciting. guys. Wow, she cuts fantastic. I'm absolutely shocked that cuts so well. You have to see some of the other teeth on the chain. That cuts so well. So ash, 7-8 inches. Got a chestnut, 7 or 8 inches. Let's find something slightly bigger for the 0 to 8 to go through. Wow, just so cool, isn't it? So, untouched and circa, is she, wow, shocking, isn't it? Not far away from 50 years old for the original model, and just sailing through the wood with that type of chain as well. So if we can get one bigger piece, guys, it'd be just nice to try something the size of the bar. Maybe it'll answer all the rest of the questions for people. Okay. Right, I have a candidate. We'll take a disc off her. Hang on. She's quite awkwardly positioned. Okay. What do we think? Is that going to fall off and hurt me? There we go, perfect. All right, let's go for that. Let's prop that girl up. Let me grab a wedge. There's something about the early Stihl saws. They're so fantastic to use. They are really so fantastic to use. Okay, guys. Generally, the first discs ever today on this saw. Wow. Okay. There. There. Wow, it's like noodles coming off of that chain. Not the cleanest cut. Obviously the chain presumably needs sharpening and then balancing up, but not bad. Not bad. That's through 21-inch rounds after first cuts today. Unbelievable. First cuts today. Okay guys, there's a couple more project saws. It's got a bit late. There's still 357 to show, a 250, a couple of 51s, a couple of Stihl 41s. There's a whole host to get to, which I've poured across, ready for the next week. So bear with me. Any questions on the Husky 50 and the 28 original AV, just ask. Guys, stay safe. Bye for now.